It's not in the cards for you. I'm pretty good at insults, and I got the internet and a lot of free time.
About time for that Where's a Chick for Lucas Day, huh? Huh? Or as I like to call it, what about a girlfriend for Lukey Day? Huh? Yeah. I think Gen Z has a greed problem. I mean, while 2/3 of you will vote for a socialist candidate, I probably mean Bernie Sanders or AOC or Ilhan Omar or any of those. And then they'll say things like, okay, you get politics, but get some bitches. But then you're never my bitch. You know what I mean? Or you're like, oh, we hate greed, but meanwhile, look at me and my 2 to 3 girlfriends. You're greedy. You're just a bunch of bastards. Shut the fuck up and get bent and get the fuck out of the way. Fucking ageist fucking bigots. You talk this big game about bigotry being a bad thing, but then you won't date Gen X males. And then when you do, it's all complain because, oh, he didn't supply the drugs or he didn't supply the... You know, it's like this gift giving to maintain the relationship. Instead of just gift giving because you love somebody, it's like, here's this, here's a pop, here's a soda, here's a car, here's something like this. So you'll be a trophy wife or trophy girlfriend or whatever. I don't get you guys. You guys are so hypocritical sometimes. I'm your friend, but you're so hypocritical. Are you my friend? Walking around with those multiple chicks all the time while I got 0? Hook it the fuck up. Introduce me to some fucking women and stop being a bunch of greedy bastards. There's this rising tide amongst atheists because of guys like Bill Maher that seem to think that they're better than Christians, or they'll believe in something else other than religion. They'll believe in capitalism, like that isn't its own religion and money isn't their God. Any kind of belief is stupid anyway. Even if it's a belief in socialism, it should be based on scientific fact rather than a belief or an opinion, which doesn't really matter unless you got the scientific facts to back it up. And if you think you're so fucking Christ-like because you're an atheist and you're using money to get the girl interested in you, you're going against Matthew 19:24, so no, you're not. You're also hypocrites just like the Christians you hate. And I'm not saying that from a standpoint of agnosticism. I'm saying that from the standpoint of I too am an atheist. I just don't believe in things. I'm a non-believer. I'm a skeptic to all things. I need hard evidence, otherwise, to me, it's bullshit.
After I gave birth, my hair wasn't that
Warp time curvature in order to create a warp field bubble to cancel time dilation using dark energy generated by colliding gravitons with reverse spin antigravitons. I think the vast majority of Gen Z has a bit of a classist hypocrisy problem, because 2/3 of you will vote for a socialist candidate, but the same people aren't dating people that live in group homes like me. That's a bit ableist, if you think, for a generation so against bigotry. Classism, ageism, that's all bigotry. You call it preferences, but when you really look at it with a keen eye, from an objective viewpoint, it just looks like prejudice to us. And it really is. I mean, I'll admit that I won't date women that are overweight, but I've dated women that are overweight, and it's not that I have a problem with dating women that are overweight, it's just that I want to date someone that isn't overweight now, because I've already dated women that are overweight, and I got no problem with them. I just would like to date someone that I view as pretty instead of settling. And you could be settling by being with me, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're not. Maybe you'd be dating somebody that's willing to stand up against bigotry in a town as conservative as Spokane. So to me, that would be seen as someone that's brave. I think that I'm kind of brave for doing this. If you don't see it that way, then you're chicken shit. You don't have the courage of your convictions like I do. Listen, honeys of Gen Z, I'm sure you're probably wondering why specifically you would date me, but I'll make you the best medium rare steak you've ever had in your life, and then we can sit and watch videos on my computer and just kick it, watch a movie. I don't know what else you really want from me other than like more of that, cooking and watching TV together seems to be what most couples do anyway, right? So maybe you're there to decide partially what we do. With my last girlfriend, she decided what we did a lot of the time, and I just went and did it with her because we wanted to be together, and I decided some things too, and it was like a mutual thing. I don't get this whole conservative male thing of Gen Z where they'll say things like, well, the man has to decide every fucking move. That's not the case. That's why Gen Z women are liberals and Gen Z men are conservatives, because, you dudes are fucking idiots. And you can't really say much different of Generation X either, because conservatism is fucking stupid. It's just closed-mindedness. But, whatever. If you're like one of these wokey fascists, I don't really want to be with you either, because you're just as bad as the mega Republicans. Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. But meanwhile, the economic situation is fucked up, and you want our help so fucking bad, but you won't let us say certain words like, oh, the economic situation is retarded. Oh, canceled, now you're not getting our help, but whatever. I will cook you that steak. We can watch movies on my computer together. Great things. We can discover things together. I used to follow this page on Facebook called The Socialist Atheist, but the reason why I quit following them is because they had a post that said that any man who wanted to be in a relationship with young women was a predator. So I straight up called that motherfucker a bigot and I blocked him. So I know there's a lot of socialist atheists against the age gap relationship that I want to be in, where the woman is 18 to 25 and the man is between the ages of like late 30s to mid 50s. The reason for that is because of the high influx of telomerase within the reproductive transport cells, sperm, and reproductive stationary cells, ova, is in high synchronicity, and it would create healthier babies. Not only that, shut your fucking bigot mouth, okay? When you look at the statistics for Gen Z, you find that still 75% of Gen Z adults want to have children someday. And you think, well, what dude are you going to mate with in order to have a good, healthy child? You think age proximus, someone that's your own age, but that's incorrect all around, because middle-aged men convey more telomerase than your babies, and young women convey more telomerase within the babies, which is the enzyme of age defiance. If you have more of that on your strands of DNA, especially your reproductive transport cells, your reproductive stationary cells, and those two combine, you're going to have a healthier baby all around. So maybe you should look at the science instead of your internal ingrained bigotries about older men, because we're going to convey stronger health in the babies due to that enzyme within our reproductive systems. And if you deign bigotry in any sort of case, you're just basically a Republican. I mean, you talk this big game about socialism and everything like that, but, I don't know, it just sounds like you're a bunch of Republicans. If you're going to be ageist, you're bigots. And I don't like bigots. If you're going to be bigots, you're not well enough to date me. Especially if you're classist, too. I mean, I live in a group home, but it's not like I can't get out of it and get some low-income housing like a lot of people that have kids. And we could start a happy family together. Plus, I have an inheritance coming in like the next 10 to 15 years when my parents are gone. I don't know. It's a little something. It's not going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a little bit of a couple $100,000 or maybe something. I don't know. Like 50,000 would be great. Maybe 10,000 for all I know. All I know is they made some money while having a travel agency, and they were millionaires for a time period. And I don't know if they're millionaires now, including my dad and my stepmom. I don't know if they're millionaires now. They don't talk about money. They're not classist pigs. You know what I mean? They're common sense, kind, loving people who did a lot of volunteer work and care about other people other than themselves, other than the fucking Republicans who only care about them fucking selves, like you. This might seem like a weird reason to you to want to have kids, but we're going to Mars soon, and we're going to need the best and brightest to go to the red planet and remain here on Earth. I don't care if my kid is a garbage collector, as long as they're the best garbage collector that they can be. You know what I mean? And so telomerase is kind of important when you think of older men, because we'll convey greater health and longevity and intelligence and empathy to our children, so we may as well just go with that. Also, younger women, blah, 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 you've heard the spiel, but we are going to Mars, and we do need smart burger flippers too. So we need a little bit of everything. I don't care what my kid does for a living, as long as they're happy.
As an older guy interested in younger males and a libtard, or whatever you want to call me,